So you've probably been told before that you have to become an expert before you can market yourself, before you can build a platform, before you can sell a product. You've been told that unless you're an expert, you don't have the ability, you don't have the credentials, you don't have the street cred to be able to do so. What if I told you that that is not true, that that is false? And if you don't believe me, I have an example of somebody that is not an expert that has built a six-figure, almost a seven-figure business, and he's not even an expert in the space. What? That's right, you're getting ready to meet a good friend of mine. His name is Michael Nicoletti, and he is known as the Scrivener Coach. I've known Joe for quite some time. We've had a chance to hang out a lot. I've met his wife, I've met his family, and the best part is that we are in a mastermind group and we get the chance to meet up ever so often, and most recently on a houseboat in the Nashville area. And it's just been fun to see his journey. But the one thing about him that really blew me away when we were just having a conversation, when I realized, is that he has several products that are geared towards writing, towards writers. And here's the best part, Joe's not a writer. He's never written a book. He's never published a book. He may write a book in the future, but he has built a six-figure business and he hasn't even wrote a book yet. And the funny thing is that his audience is writers. So today we're going to learn more about Joe's story, and he's going to share a fun story how he was able to make $10,000 in 1 hour. It's a fun story, you're gonna like it. So let's meet Joe, let's find out how he did this and how he was able to build a business and not even being an expert. All right, let's learn more about Joe. What's going on? So I'm here with my buddy Joe. What is up? We just got off a houseboat having a good old time. But we're here at a rest stop because whenever you want to record a video, I mean, it don't matter where you stop, we want to record.
Yeah.
But Joe has an amazing story, which to me, so if you know about my background, like I was a financial planner, you know, I did blogging, I did marketing, online marketing to grow my practice, and I've really positioned myself as being the expert, not only as a certified financial planner, but also as an online marketer. And that's really kind of like my story, you know, like I wanted to do it first, prove that I could do it, and then show others that were interested in either doing one of those two things. But with Joe, it's kind of a neat story because he is proof that you don't really have to be an expert in a certain space to dominate, to do well, and to make an amazing living. And that's why I wanted Joe to come on and share his story a little bit. So, Joe, share your story.
Yeah, man. No, thanks for doing this. It's kind of fun. It's interesting because we were just having this discussion in a car as we were driving about just things that hold people back, things that have held me back in the past. And the one thing that comes up all the time is this feeling like an imposter, right? Or feeling like I'm not expert enough to teach that or to do that. And one of the things that's unique about my story was like I was experimenting with a lot of other things, just like most people, not knowing what's gonna work. And when I came across this software program called Scrivener, which is a tool for writers, mainly like writers writing things like novels and books. And here I'm this like C-grade student and like English, right? And hated writing, haven't written a book, and yet, you know, I had this initial thought of, could I create a course around Scrivener, a software program teaching writers how to write using this program? And of course, I have these fears, like everybody else, of, well, I can't do that. What if people call me out and they think I'm a fraud because I haven't written a book? And it's just interesting to have this discussion, and here we are like 4 or 5 years later. And I think I was telling you, I was like, you know, not one person asked me first to see like, well, let me see your credentials first. How many books have you written with Scrivener? Like, nobody ever asked me that, and it blows my mind because I was this close to talking myself out of it. Mm-hmm. Like so many of us do. I can't even think about how many things I probably talked myself out of because of that fear. But and then we were talking, like it comes down to people really, they just want to know that you know a little bit more than them, right? Like, we think about the YouTube videos that we go and watch to learn something. Like, I don't really care how much you know, just as long as you know more than me and can teach me something. And once we grasp that, it takes so much pressure off of our shoulders as creators or teachers or whatever it is in your industry like, you don't have to be the foremost expert on something.
Yeah.
You just have to know a little bit more.
Yeah, and you think of this in your everyday life, going to a restaurant, maybe going on vacation. What do? You maybe start with a family member, a friend, and ask them, hey, how did you like that restaurant? Or how did you like that resort? Or how did you like that beach? Would you take your kids there? I mean, they're just one step ahead of you, but you are looking to them as the expert because they've been there, they've done that. I mean, do they know everything about it? No, but they know enough to give you enough information to make a decision on that. And that's all you did. Now, I want to take a step back real quick because, when you came up with this idea, you still had a job, right? You still had the 9 to 5.
Yes.
So this was like something that you were wanting to do on the side, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but you had tried a few other things, a few other side hustles that didn't quite work out the way that we all hoped.
Not at all.
The way that Joe hoped.
Yeah.
And then here comes Scrivener, and so tell us about that. I mean, like, how'd you even hear of Scrivener, and like, how do you know how to pronounce Scrivener, and
right.
What made you want to create a course on Scrivener?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I started a number of different blogs. Like, one of them was like a productivity blog. Another one was like teaching graphic design. And I had no idea how I was going to do any of this. I just knew, like, to even win at the game or have a chance to win at this game, you had to be in it, right? And so I was just trying things, not being afraid to try a bunch of things. Just experiment instead of viewing it as like, what if I fail at this? If you reframe it as like, let's experiment with this and just see what happens. And so I was using Scrivener actually to organize all of my different blog content because it's kind of this big database, right? And so I'm like trying to organize blog posts. And it's one of those things where you buy a certain brand of car, then all of a sudden you see it everywhere. So it was like that with Scrivener. I was using Scrivener and I saw people writing articles about it. I'm like, oh, how are they using it and whatnot? And I saw Michael Hyatt using it. This was like years ago. He wrote a blog post on it. And it was in there, reading through some of the comments and some of his content on there, people kept talking about, oh, I want to learn that. I wish I could learn it. The learning curve's too steep, or I don't have time. And it was one of those things where I was looking at this point, because of my failures of trying other things, these ebooks and putting stuff out there, and realizing like they didn't really solve a crunchy problem. And so I was looking for something to solve. I was looking for a pain specifically. And so I think that's the magic there, is like, what's painful for people that you think you can solve? And I just saw this pain with this product of like, there was a legitimate need and desire for people to learn it, but there was a pain in learning it. So I thought, what if I could teach that? Because I liked it, I was using it, and there was this magic phrase that I always tell people. I ask that question, like, why not me? Like, usually we talk ourselves out of it so quick, like, well, why me? I can't do that, but why not you? And like, what if? And so I just started researching, like, no, there wasn't a really good program for it. There were some books, and then, doing your diligence to find out if it's really not gonna be a waste of time, like, is there demand for it? I found out there was, and again, I just used that frame of, let's experiment. Hey, if it doesn't work, at least I'll learn something in the process.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I took that chance, because it literally changed everything.
So you didn't pre-sell it. You actually create the whole course before you sold it?
So I did something really good by accident. Was I made a little bit, and then reaching out to folks one-on-one on Twitter. I found out a lot of writer folks are on Twitter, so you got to kind of find out where your audience lives. And I was there just kind of interacting with folks, and as I would make a little bit, I would go out there and say, hey, what do you think of this? Could I get some feedback on this? Do you think this is helpful? Is there anything else you would add? And so I involved the audience right from the beginning, and I used that feedback, and just kind of like they helped me make the rest of the course.
Yeah. Hey, so this is one of the benefits at recording at a rest area, is that somebody sets off their car alarms right there in front of us. I guess they just figured that out. So, one thing that you said though that I loved is, because I get so many questions. Oh, the car alarm.
Come on.
Seriously, for real.
What's going on?
But
turn it off.
One of the things that you said that I love, because I get so many people that want to start a side hustle, and because they want to make extra money, right?
Yeah.
Something that you just said that I heard was, you didn't say, I'm sure there was a part of you that thought this, can I make money? But the question you said was, is this something I can teach? Is this something that I can show others how to do and bring value to them? That is key.
Yeah.
That's something I think I don't want to overlook, because when you're just trying to make the quick buck versus what problem, what pain are you trying to solve? I mean, that's ultimately what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And the benefit of that was you're getting paid to do that. Here's something that's fun, and I'll let you share this. So, how much is Scrivener, and how much was your course, and how much is your course now? Or I don't know if that's changed, but
yeah. So this went through a complete evolution. So at first, like, Scrivener software program is around $45. It's priced really affordably because for writers and all that. And so in the beginning, I was scared to death to charge any dollar amount for my course. This is ridiculous. Motorcycles, car alarms.
It's a kid. Like, figure it out, kid. Like,
Figure
when
it
you
out.
open the door, the alarm's gonna go off. Where's mom and dad at?
It's good background music. So in the beginning, what I did was I put a price on it. I think it was $37. I figured logically, well, Scrivener's 45, I'll charge 37 or something, but I was still afraid to charge that, so I created this 100% off coupon that I would reach out with folks and say, hey, in exchange, I'm gonna give you this course, here's a coupon for $100 off in exchange for feedback, because I'm looking for feedback to help develop the course content. So that worked great, and a lot of folks were like, oh, this is amazing. I would pay double 37. You priced it way too low, like this kind. And so that sort of built my confidence. And then slowly I took the coupon code off, see if anybody would pay real money for it, and they were. And I added more and more stuff into it. It became more and more valuable. And today we have several different packages you can buy. The highest package being $297. We found to be like kind of the sweet spot. And so people, I mean, if you think about college courses, there's courses to learn certain applications that are thousands of dollars, because a tool really in the hands of somebody who doesn't know how to use it, it's pretty pointless, right? And so it's knowing how to use a tool that makes all the difference.
Yeah, so a product that costs $40 and a course showing how to use said product for $200-300. I mean, now $300. And the best part, people are happy to pay it.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have, I think, over 25,000 students now with pages and pages of testimonials, how it's become like a game changer for them in their writing career.
And how long ago did you launch this?
This was about almost 5 years ago now.
4 to 5 years ago. So I want to hear, like, you created it, you had some initial success, but what was the moment when you were like, uh-oh, or maybe not uh-oh, but uh-oh, I think I have something here.
Yeah.
Like, what was that moment when you realized, man, I just made a sale, or, you know, what was that moment?
Yeah, I think it was it was like the moment when the course sales brought in more than I had made from my corporate day job in like the last 6 months. And then of course you're thinking at the time, like, something's wrong. Like this can't happen again, right? Maybe it was a fluke, and it kind of kept happening, and it was gaining traction. And I remember I did my first webinar with a writer audience. It was not even a large audience, but I came on and I taught Scrivener best things I could teach for like 45 minutes, and at the end it was a very simple, I can't fit everything in. If you want to learn more, I do have a course, and it will teach you X, Y, and Z and all this. And in 1 hour, we sold like a quarter's worth of my income at the day job. And so that was like this aha moment of like, I wonder if I could actually do this full time.
Can we quantify that a little bit? How much in that hour?
Yeah, so we made like $10,000 in an hour's time.
$10,000 in 1 hour's time.
And this was a webinar I did during my lunch break at work. I remember driving down the highway, like trying to race, do the webinar, drive back before anybody noticed at my work. Yeah, it's crazy.
So how long after that webinar did you end up quitting your day job?
I think it was about 6 months. So it was like, part of that was like just my own internal fear, but it was like, let's make sure this is stable, let's make sure it's repeatable, build up a little cushion, and then take the leap and never look back.
Yeah, and so that was the beginning, and now Joe's got a ton of different courses, a ton of different products that are all around book writing. You know, one of them right now is how to solve writer's block. Is that the name of it, or? Yeah,
Writer's Block Relief.
Writer's Block Relief. And so he's got all these products, and once again, in case you missed this, Joe, how many books have you written?
0. 0 books.
0.
Some would say I am not an expert, and it's perfectly okay, because here's the other thing. If you think about an expert, sometimes they lose touch of what it was like to be a beginner. And so I actually teach people that you actually have a unique perspective when you're not the foremost expert. So I was using Scrivener and I was loving it, and I was still a new user.
Yeah.
And I was excited about it, and I had a perspective of what it's like being a new user. And so I was able to talk to people in a different way, which was much more, I mean, you think of it like a huge travel company reviewing a hotel versus like a TripAdvisor person who just went there last week.
Right.
That almost review becomes more valuable, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing.
Absolutely. Very cool. So that is why we pulled over on the side of the road to record this, because you don't have to be the expert.
Yeah.
You just got to be one step ahead of the next person.
Yeah.
So
don't let that hold you back.
Don't let that hold you back. If people want to find out more about you, Joe, where do they need to go?
You can find me on Twitter at Scrivener Coach is probably the easiest place to find me. And if you're interested in learning Scrivener or seeing a little bit about the course or how it was made or anything like that, it's at learnscrivenerfast.com.
Boom. And we'll have some links in the description for you to check out, but it's awesome. One thing about too, Joe, like he eventually is gonna do more YouTube. When he does, like if you ever buy one of his products, his video quality and editing is just, it makes me drool a little bit. I love it. So he doesn't know this yet, but he's actually gonna give me some B-roll to include in this video. So that's not my B-roll, that's Joe's B-roll that he's provided that makes this video look that much better. So Joe, appreciate your time, dude.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. See you guys.
See you guys.